I'm Professor Ritual. Welcome to the retrospective. If you like what you see, feel free to like, subscribe or share. And maybe a back episode piques your interest. Back in 2015, when you-know-who announced his candidacy, many felt his behavior was narcissistic. Today, more than before, we are aware of narcs' black and white thinking, but yet we have many narc leaders amongst us. I will now present 3 reasons why narcissism is a really bad leadership quality. Number 1. Narcissism is incompatible with teamwork. Narcs will never be satisfied as being members of a team. They want to enjoy special treatment and bend rules to their will. Since a narc always plays games, most team values, for example openness and respect, would sound like torture in narcs' ears. Classical organizations are pyramid hierarchies, where leaders decide everything sitting on the top and the work is done somewhere underneath. This is what a narcissist loves, and they'll do their utmost everything to wiggle their way up, often succeeding in it, master manipulators as they are. Agile organizations are reversed pyramids, where decisions are made by workers and leaders' role is to serve. This is what a narcissist hates, because there is no hierarchy to climb up to. If a narcissistic CEO would be hired to this kind of an organization, the first thing they'd do would be to reverse the pyramid. So even an agile organization is not completely narc resistant. Number 2. Narcissism is unhealable. Narcissism is a deep dysfunction in human soul. No amount of positive thinking nor therapy helps here. Narcissism simply cannot be waited out, as it never ever gets better by itself.
The answer is never. Do you hear me? Never ever!
To better understand why this is, let's assume that something in our soul frames and regulates our faculties. Let's call this something the self. A healthy person's functional self keeps their impulses in thinking, feeling and willing in check. Such a person can think rationally and self-reflect an array of emotions. A dysfunctional self, however, such as a narcissist would have, leaks out the impulses uncontrolled. Narcs seldom think rationally nor reflect empathy well. To use a blunt analogy, a narc's house is empty. A personhood that is not self-aware can't quite become aware of its own dysfunction. The only thing that could somehow improve a narc would be a dramatic and shaky life event, for example a severe sickness. This kind of hard reset might rebuild some order into their inner structure, but not heal it. Time for Professor's power tip. If you are ever faced with a narcissistic leader, you have one wonderful tool at your disposal: logic. Logic existed before time and space. It prevailed the Big Bang, so it will prevail narc blunders too. Here are 20 logical fallacies that I've spotted from narcs all the time. Learn these and their counters and you'll be good to go. Number 3. Implosion. Narcs never go out gently into the night. Like every star in the universe eventually collapses onto itself, a narc too eventually implodes. Depending on their hierarchical power, they'll bring down smaller or larger pieces of collective fabric with them, and they'd have no remorse in doing so. In his interesting book Der Krieg aller gegen alle, Markus Osterrieder expresses a fitting agony. If I want to continue to try to live out of the inherited spiritual forces that have carried humanity up to our present time, I will inevitably continue this rift. Then the present conditions are merely the harbingers of an all-encompassing atomization of humanity, which must in the end discharge in a social catastrophe. The war of all against all. The silver lining of narcissism is that the more narcs we have, the more awareness we also have about what constitutes a good mental health and fulfilling life. When more people find their true self and understand its calm power, we will be blessed with better leaders. One cannot be a good leader unless one knows how to serve.